Good evening, guys. Saurabh this side, Saurabh Banerjee, and being an active HR practitioner in terms of not just being a recruitment consultant, also being a learning and development practitioner. I'd like to have a few minutes of my thoughts being shared with all of you all. So, Banana Tech is the firm that I'm associated with, as you'd get to know as you scroll the website and have a look at it in detail. Being a part of the strategic unit which is taking care of the learning and development part of the firm, I thought I'll share a few views of mine on learning and development and training per se. Yeah. So, just to begin with, guys, we all have heard about learning and development and training happening at right from a micro to a macro level in organizations, panning from different industries and sectors. More so with ever since the surgence of the private sector has cropped in, and the corporate sector, the private sector having cropped in and grown to an extent where today we have the private sector constituting to more than 50% of our GDP. So the whole aspect of the human workforce is what HR tools like performance management and compensation and benefit, employee engagement, learning and development, and all of these tools are catering to the entire human workforce, because that's what exactly is running the business, driving the business in totality. Yeah, we all know, we have heard about it. We keep listening to some of the other fact about HR interventions, and the buzzword being the HR should be the strategic business partner, and so on and so forth. And a lot is being shared on different HR platforms with career training programs, and a lot of certifications being given, offered by top-notch HR institutes and forums such as CIPD from the UK, and SHRM, and the HCI network, and so on and so forth. But guys, what I am trying to harp here on is the strategic HR tools, so to say, are all formulated by HR professionals, and they're put into practice. But what I would really share my views on is, how does it all percolate down to the last man standing in the employee force? Do we care about it? We're all talking about human resource management. Which is the resource we're talking about here? The humans, right? A human has to be treated as a human in every facet of life, and corporate work life is no different. Yeah. I could coin a few terms from my end. See, for me, how do I really define the workforce of an organization? It's the soldiers of a unit which are battling it out for you, for a cause that they believe in, which is what we define as the organization's goal and vision and the mission, right? So to align that workforce into one segment, there are a lot of examples that we have in different sectors. There are wonderful organizations with fantastic feedback from the employee force, right from the entry level to the top management. So, but how are they successful? So that's what I'm trying to highlight here. They're successful because the HR tools that are used. If I talk about learning and development here, even the HR has to be absolutely sensitive to the issues that a human mind goes through. Maybe a lot of you be saying that what's new in it that we're talking about here? Well, the new is that the human resource workforce, the tools being implemented for its development, are we being human enough to implement them to get the desired results, or are we just looking to get the HR budget extracted and implement it in a manner to the best possible manner by the HR department, by the L&D heads, by the trainers. The thing is that are we as human resource professionals, more so in the training and development department, are we really being the HR professionals we intend to be? I'll just cite a few pointers. So there's a supply management firm. I wouldn't name anyone in particular. So there's a supply management firm, and there are the workforce which is driving the supply chain right at the grassroots level. So there'll be people who will be boarding the logistical supplies to the vehicles, and that's how they're being the entire shipments and the entire batches of products are being moved on a particular time scale, and the turnaround times have to be matched and so on and so forth. If that one man, that one employee from that logistical department is bound to feel that I am having to work even with certain baggages in my head for that particular day, but I will do it not because this is an organization which is paying a fat check to me at the end of the month, and that's how my bread and earnings for the family are being used from. Instead, if he feels that yes, I'm going to do this is my extended family. So can we really get HR interventions to a level where we work, the entire workforce works as a family? Yes, we can. So if I coin a few terms, for instance, say workforce alignment, how do we align the workforce? It will not happen just by methodically, trying to percolate, absolutely set fixtures and set modules, and trainers being asked to impart it, and people not engaging one-on-one. I hope I'm trying to make some sense here. But so the human element is what I'm trying to harp on. And once you're done with aligning the workforce, then what? Is the human connect, is it just a one-time exercise? No, it's an ongoing process. Right? So an entry-level employee who gets to working with the human connect as a psychological tool for himself, he rises and he grows with the age and his position and his designations and the processes that he's learning. But the basic fundamentals of functioning in that corporate will remain the same for him. So even being a line manager, he'll understand that if his team members or the supervisors are not being able to connect with the respective teams, there's a non-technical issue going on there, not a technical one, right? So that's a small instance I'm trying to draw, my friends, and at Banana Tech, this is what we are trying to harp on in terms of when we talk about end-to-end HR solutions. So right from the recruitment process to the onboarding and the candidates working for the respective organizations, there shall be a support system which harps on these issues. And there are a lot of other issues that could be spoken about here, for instance, recognition and acknowledgement, how big a boost or a deterrent it could be to an organization's success, to the top line and the bottom line of the organization is something amazing. So, and it's an ongoing process, my friends. So, yeah, so that's how we want to make a difference, being an HR organization, working with that belief in our head. And so, yeah, please look forward to a lot of videos.